name is Konstanze Zwintz. I'm an astrophysicist at the Institute for Astro and Particle Physics of the University of Innsbruck. In my research, I'm focusing on the evolution of young stars in their childhood and youth. I want to understand the early phases of stellar evolution better, because there are a lot of open questions that we cannot understand and address properly in our models now. And so I'm using a new method, which is called asteroseismology, study of stellar oscillations, to learn more about the stellar interiors and about, in particular, young stars. Originally, why I chose astronomy as my field of interest dates back to the time when I was a child, and my mother showed me the stars in the sky, and she also explained rockets to me and how the moon missions, the Apollo missions to the moon were going, and so that's why I basically chose astronomy. And then the specific research project where I work on young stars, the origin has its origin during my PhD. My PhD thesis was focusing on finding young stars that are oscillating, because at that time we were not sure that young stars could really show stellar oscillations. And so my task was to find out if there are young clusters with young stars that are pulsating, and to kind of make a first sample of stars and characterize their properties. And since then, I'm completely passionate about this field. The future challenges lie, I think, in both observations of stars and also in the improvement of the models. So the observations of stars are important. We have to look at young star-forming regions and observe stars. And fortunately, there are space missions out there which provide data. Then we have to study and to see what we find in a new data. At the same time, we have to improve our models, because there are a lot of descriptions of physical processes that are inappropriate at the moment. And so it's interaction between theory and observations to trigger both. So observations can provide new ideas for theory, and theory can provide new ideas what to observe. So it's a challenge that goes in both directions. The FWF is very important for my career, because just after my PhD, I applied for a Hertha Firnberg Fellowship, which was then granted. And so the foundation of my work now lies in the Hertha Firnberg Fellowship financed by the FWF. And so you can say I'm a co-founder of the topic of astroseismology of Riemann sequence stars. And so is the FWF, because the FWF gave me the opportunity to do this kind of research. Basic research also allows in a second step that new technologies and innovation are developing. And astronomy has a lot of perfect examples for this. For example, the detectors that we're using at ground-based and space-based observatories are now in the cell phones, cameras that we're using, or even in the more modern cameras. So the detectors that were originally built to observe faint stars with huge telescopes, that's now the technology we have in our everyday cell phones. I also think in a time that we're living in, where we have a lot of fake news, and so it's important that somebody can do science freely, without any boundaries and without any limits, and without being forced to do something by industry, because there are boundaries that are given by somebody else. So I think it's very important.